Welcome back to Valencia for the final time this weekend. The sound of EuroNASCAR is about to reverberate through the countryside just outside Valencia at the circuit. Ricardo, Tormo, the sun is out, the stars are out, and some 18,000 spectators are joining us to bask in the excitement that comes with the EuroNASCAR and the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. Fabulous to be here with you for this EuroNASCAR Pro race. It's going to be 18 laps of action here at the circuit. Ricardo, Tormo, a continuation on from yesterday's race. The grid for this one set by the fastest laps from yesterday. And that means that pole position goes to Gianmarco Ercoli, a driver we weren't expecting to be at the top. He actually had to have his gearbox changed mid-race yesterday, but the car was back out there courtesy of the efforts of Cal Racing, and not only was it out there, but it was the fastest car over one lap. And there he is now with my colleague Andre Vigold. So let's hear from Ercoli.
Thank you, Adam. Gianmarco, it was a bad race for you yesterday due to technical problems, but you went back on the track and you posted the fastest lap, pole position.
Yeah, yesterday we have a very bad starting procedure and the gearbox leave me. But the mechanic take a very good job, and in a few minutes the car is okay and I can take the pole position for today.
What's your plan to strike back and grab that win today?
And now I have the objective of the winner the race, because yesterday I leave a lot of points on the track, and today is important to take all points possible.
All right, thank you so much and good luck. Back to Adam.
There you go, big plaudits to the 54 crew. Gianmarco Ercoli and the team did a very good job getting the car back out yesterday in spite of their gearbox problems. You see there the autographs being signed by Gianmarco, and we'll see how he and the crew perform in this race. They'll be hoping for an easier time of it this time around. Yesterday's pole sitter, Alexander Graf, he was second fastest in the race in terms of single lap time, and he will be looking to build upon his podium in race one. Ended up finishing third place, and Alexander Graf will be looking to try and challenge Ercoli around the outside at turn one here at Valencia. And this car, Alan Day, the number 24, he will be relieved to be this far up the grid after starting 16th yesterday. He recovered very well indeed, though, did Alan. A great run yesterday. We'll be looking to see what kind of efforts he can put in from third on the grid. He will surely be challenging for victory, but let's hear from Alexander Graf.
Alexander, another front row start for you today. It went well yesterday, but what does it take for you to grab that first EuroNASCAR Pro win today?
Maybe in an hour or something like that. I hope so. Yeah, we have a good start position in P2 this day, and Rocca did very well yesterday in second place and won the race, so I hope to do the same.
Any special strategies for that race?
Yeah, we have done some homework over the night. We have also improved the car underneath the warm-up this morning, so we hope that we can be a little bit more competitive in the beginning of the race. But the race pace over the whole race was really good from my side. It was the safety cars that destroyed my plans.
We know that managing the tires is key to success in EuroNASCAR. You have only one set of tires for qualifying in both races. Yeah. How did you manage your tires yesterday?
Really well. Really well. I think that the other one is going to be really scared about my tire situation. But we have Ercoli, who is not running his tires so much yesterday, so that will be the key to pass him really early in the race.
All right, thank you so much and good luck.
Skål där hemma.
Back to Adam.
There we go. Great to hear from Alexander Graf. The safety cars, those wretched safety cars, caused him his problems yesterday then, as far as he can tell. There's Tobias Downhauer's number 50 car with Hazelberg Systems, and there is Tobias himself giving us a wave. The EuroNASCAR 2 graduate had a very good run of it yesterday. We look forward to seeing how he does come the race. And who are we looking into there? Is that the number 64 again? Yes, it is. That's Alexander Graf's car that will be starting from the outside of the front row. We very much look forward to seeing Alexander. And There you go. The circuit, as we said, fairly full. Lots of fans here with 18,000 people joining us, and they'll probably end up with some unique souvenirs. You can often chat in the back of the garages and kind of walk away with a nice Hoosier tyre as a bit of a memento. Also some spare bodywork if they fancy it as well, that you can get. Certainly a lot of paddocks you can have the opportunity to get some proper racing equipment as a souvenir, but none more so than here in EuroNASCAR. And Andre, ever vigilant, ever diligent, has found some more interviewees.
I'm here with Alan Day. Yesterday you made a great comeback on the grid, going to the front, but I bet I know you're hungry for more.
Yeah, without the safety car yesterday, I guess I would be able also to fight for the win, but it is what it is. We started from P16 because of some unfortunate situations. Yeah, that's the man, Graf. I hope we will start the race good. My main goal eventually is to finish the race with one piece and 4 wheels. Obviously try to win, but I know that Gianmarco is with the really fresh tires, so it's not going to be easy. And yeah, I'll try to do the best. I know how to win here, so I will try to repeat it again and again and again.
All right, thank you so much and good luck.
Thank you.
There you go. Great to hear from Alan Day, the 3-time champion back in 2017 and 2018 and in 2020. He will be looking to progress up through that front row of the grid, I'm sure. I think that the inclination of Andre is more than correct on that occasion. Great to hear from the driver of the 24. One of the most famous numbers in NASCAR competition, of course. In this category, has seen plenty of success with Alan Day. Of course, it's a PK Car Sport entry. PK Car Sport, a team with so much history in various disciplines of motor racing, not just in Europe, but also globally, running Corvettes and Celines and the like in GT competition. And these days, they are a force to be reckoned with in the world of EuroNASCAR. The festivities are still going on, and there you see some volunteer cheerleaders joining our actual pom-pom laden cheerleaders here on the grid. It's a proper American atmosphere on the grid, a taste of the United States and sporting competitions in America. We always have the US anthem playing. We have the cheerleaders, we have the drivers. Start your engines command that we will hear in just a few minutes. Of course, the events themselves, they typically embrace the kind of American style racing as well, with the likes of for example, Brands Hatch, probably one of the best examples of all, the American Speed Fest. They are fully turning Brands Hatch into Daytona for that weekend, and the EuroNASCAR definitely helps with that. We see similar things here at the circuit, Ricardo, Tormo, and all through the calendar as well. Of course, this is the last race for the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series this weekend. They'll be moving on to Brands Hatch next month on the 11th and 12th of June, and then going through a fabulous calendar from that point onwards. We see some autographs being signed down there. Some drivers very accessible to the spectators and willing to greet their fans. You see the grid is being vacated by a majority of the fans, so it won't be long before Andre gets told to run away too. But one last interview I think we have.
Yes, of course. One more. I'm here with yesterday's race winner Nicola Rocca. Today, different starting position for you, 4th row, and you have very fast drivers in front of you. How do you want to get that double win here at Valencia?
Well, it's going to be a matter of not making mistakes, I would say, and keep it clean. It's going to be a long race, it's very hot, so I'm sure that if I have the pace, I'm going to be up there. So I believe I do have it, so I believe I'm going to be able to make a few spots.
The other drivers told us already the tires are the key to success, but how did you manage your tires yesterday by winning that race?
Yeah, actually, I think I managed it pretty well. I wasn't pushing too much. I didn't have too much pressure from behind throughout the race. That's probably why I'm starting a bit from the back, but that also means that I should have some good tires, and I didn't stress them too much yesterday.
All right, thank you so much. Grazie mille. And Adam, I think I have to leave the grid right now or I'm going to be thrown out.
They'd never throw you out, Andre. VIP treatment for Mr. V Gold, I'm sure of it. And there you see some more of the drivers standing by their cars. Have to see whether we do get any more interviews or not. I'm sure if Andre does spot another driver, he'll do it. But I think we will now take a look at some of what has come before here this weekend. Let's take a look at some highlights. We're racing in Valencia, and it's a good start from Graf by the looks of it. He's got the inside line into turn one, although a nose ahead, I think, for Nicolo Rocca. Can he turn across the front of Graf? Yes, he can. It's Rocca in the lead. Graf down to second, and side by side with him is Dauenhauer. Dauenhauer with a nose ahead now into turn two, but he's got the unfavored outside line. Nonetheless, Dauenhauer almost found a way through there. Underway and back to racing conditions. And there you see they fan out immediately. Goodness me, it looks like somebody's got an issue there actually. Was that the 64 car? No, in fact that was the 14. I think that was Mark Goossens pulling over. Certainly it was one of the Speedhouse cars. Unfortunately, Goossens, I think, with a problem there. Alan Day on the attack again on Roman Iannetta meanwhile. He's now up to fourth position. Alan Day back past Iannetta, and because Mark Goossens has gone missing, he's managed to get himself up into fourth place. Goodness me. This is the final lap of the race. And Alexander Graf is pressuring Tobias Dauenhauer. We saw him go wide last time. Nicolo Rocca looks like he's clear for the win. Tobias Dauenhauer, anything but. Alexander Graf is surely going to make a move at the last turn. Can Alan Day profit and capitalise? He looks to the outside line. Graf just on the rear bumper of Tobias, but I don't think there's going to be any shift in position there. It's going to be a drag race to the line. Graf did have a good run out of the final corner, but across the line to take the win is Nicolo Rocca. A fabulous start to his season. Tobias Dauenhauer held on just about. Rocca yesterday. He starts from 7th on the grid for this one. He didn't get the fastest lap in during the race, so he will have to do some work if he wants to get win number 6 here today, but I'm sure that we shouldn't put anything past the driver of the number 56. Here is the US national anthem. And we'll now hear the national anthem of Spain. The Spanish national anthem is up next. There you go, the two national anthems, the Star-Spangled Banner and the national anthem of Spain, played consecutively there as we get ready for today's racing. The countdown to command is still ongoing. Drivers not yet in their cars, but they will soon be suited and booted and ready to go. We'll hear the most famous words in motor racing today from Manuel Alvino, the Spanish Federation's president, the Spanish Motorsport Federation. So great to have him with us. Great to have so many higher-ups from the world of motorsport with us here as the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series gets ready for its 2022 season, gets into its 2022 season at long last. So many brilliant tracks that we visit this season, all of them with their own unique character. So 18 laps of racing soon to get underway here. 75-kilometer distance is the typical for the EuroNASCAR Pro, and that's what we've got here today. Last time across the 18 laps we had two safety cars. I think Alexander Graf, by the sounds of his interview earlier on with Andre, I think he's going to want a little bit of a more clean race. More green running would be good for Alexander Graf by the sounds of it. As you heard there, the set of tyres carries across from qualifying into the two races as well. So this could be critical in terms of grip in this second race. These cars will certainly be a bit squirrely by the end. Let's show you then how the points are distributed in this race, the points attribution. As you can see, we're in the regular season. The finals at the Autodrome Grobnik are quite a way away. So 40 points for the winner, 35 points for second place, and then it keeps going down one by one from there. And the 10 best results from 12 will be counted towards the championship. So if you're the likes of our pole sitter Gianmarco Ercoli, who had a terrible race yesterday, then so long as you have a clean run of it from here on out, you could still be incredibly competitive in the championship running. 2 drop scores then effectively. And also worth noting, 4 points gained by the driver who performs the most overtakes heading into the by the end of the race. So if you start down in 30th position and you get yourself into the top 10 somehow, chances are you're going to be walking away with 4 bonus points, which can be very helpful indeed. It promotes brave racing. So we're under 4 minutes away, and the dancing has begun down on the grid. The cheerleaders putting on a show with 3.5 minutes left until we go racing. Some drivers I think I can see in the pit lane sprinting back towards the cars, so some last-minute relief I think for a few of them potentially. We've been blessed with magnificent weather here in Valencia all weekend long. No complaints in terms of the conditions. The sunglasses have been broken out and they have been necessary. And we saw earlier on at the beginning of the show a 26-degree temp here at the Circuit Ricardo Tormo. 4 kilometers, 14 corners, and plenty of overtaking opportunities. Watch turn 2, watch turn 8, and potentially even at turn 12 and 14, as well as turn 1. on that first lap in particular, turn 1, we'll see lots of drivers going 2 and 3 wide and making use of that painted tarmac runoff on the outside of turn 1. It's a fabulous facility. Got some star drivers here, including this man, the 3-time champ, Alan Day. He is, of course, the most recent champion on the grid. Loris Hazeman's here in the paddock this weekend, but not a factor in the racing. He's focusing on his American venture with Team Hazeberg, along with Jack Villeneuve, who, of course, did the Daytona 500 with them earlier this year. And so the most recent champ, Alan Day, will be looking to try and claim his 4th title in the EuroNASCAR Pro in NASCAR Whelen Euro Series competition. And certainly you wouldn't put it past Alan. He had a poor qualifying yesterday, but we saw how magnificently he salvaged it. So one can only expect that from 3rd on the grid, he's going to be able to do some very special stuff indeed. We need to keep an eye as well on Patrick Lemarie. Patrick, he 4th on the grid, was the fastest man in qualifying on Saturday, but unfortunately the time was deleted owing to what we believe was a track limits violation. And so he ended up starting, I think, down in 10th place ultimately, and then had some poor luck from there, got caught up in an incident on the first lap. But we know that car is capable of victories because it just won in EuroNASCAR 2. Of course, these cars pretty much exclusively put into double duty in EuroNASCAR Pro and EuroNASCAR 2. And we've seen that that car has already taken a one. Vladimiros, the Cypriot driver, took a victory in EuroNASCAR 2. Vladimiros Yortis with a victory earlier today, and well, Patrick Lemarie will certainly be feeling a bit of pressure, maybe self-inflicted pressure, to try and match that performance in this race from 4th on the grid. We're 30 seconds away then from the engines being fired here at Valencia. Manuel Alvino, the president of the Spanish Federation, will be putting the command out there to the drivers.
Para anunciar esa mítica frase. Hoy contamos con el vicepresidente de la Federación Internacional, don Manuel Aviñó. Don Manuel, la parrilla es suya.
Drivers, start your engines.
There you go. Command has been given. The engines are fired and we're about to go racing. Formation lap will be live in just a few moments. I hope you're ready for 18 laps of excitement here. The EuroNASCAR Pro Series, some of the fastest stock car drivers in Europe taking to the circuit in just a few moments' time over this almost 2.5 mile, 4 kilometer circuit here at Valencia. The circuit Ricardo Tormo with these stock cars. Some physical racing is always on the cards. Overtaking always on the cards as well. These cars, of course, without much in the way of downforce, there's no real need to avoid any aero wash from behind or things like that. It allows for physical racing. It allows for close racing anywhere we go. These cars are so physically demanding as well. 400 brake horsepower, 5.7 litre V8, 1,200 kilo cars. And not to mention, of course, absolutely no driving assist to speak of. So you need to have a gentle braking foot and you need to be good on the throttle too. Gianmarco Ercole was the fastest driver in race 1. He set the fastest lap of the race. So even though he was many laps down, he claims pole position. Alexander Graf alongside him in the Speedhouse entry. The Swedish driver will be looking to build upon his positive results yesterday. Alan Day starting from 3rd, a much better starting point for him. Patrick Lemarie also starting way further up the order. We'll see what kind of pace he can put in. Tobias Dauenhauer, yesterday's fastest rookie. Let's see how he does today. Fastest junior, I should say. Roman Iannetta in 6th. 7th place, Nicolo Rocca in 8th place. We have Sebastian Blekemolen in the 69 car. Keep an eye on Seb. We're sure he'll work his way through the order. Martin Dubeck, last year's EuroNASCAR 2 champion. He's already got a podium today in his EuroNASCAR 2 outing. Let's see how he does in the Pro class. Frederick Gabillon in 10th. Mark Goossens starting from 11th. Good to see the car back out there after that failure yesterday. Giorgio Maggi, he was racing well within the top 10 yesterday. He'll get the number 18 Toyota Camry up the order, I'm sure of that, for Race Art Technology. Chevrolet Camaro for Massimiliano Lanza. Fabrizio Armetta from 14th place. Lucas Lur starting all the way down in 15th. Let's see if Lucas can work his way through the order. He made up some good places yesterday. As we continue to roll through, there's Leonardo Colavita, 17th in the 47 car. Gustas Grinbergas in 18th. Cosimo Barberini in 19th in the 33 car, rounding out the top 20. Yevgen Sokolovsky, another one of the drivers who double dips in EuroNASCAR 2 and EuroNASCAR Pro. He got a challenge class, or rather a Masters class podium earlier. Or Legend class, I should say, Legend Trophy. He managed to get a podium in that category. In EuroNASCAR 2, he'll be looking to pick his way through the order here in the EuroNASCAR Pro. His distinctive Gulf-coloured car will be hard to miss when we go racing. Keep an eye, incidentally, on Max Lanza, Massimiliano Lanza. That 88 car, he started it well down the order, and he ended up gaining, I think, over 15 places ultimately over the course of the race yesterday. He got the bonus points for the most overtakes of anybody. So keep an eye on Lanza. He's now starting in 13th place. I wouldn't mind betting he's capable of breaking into the top 10 here today. Lucas Lur ended up down in the 30 spots, I think, yesterday, and he managed to climb his way back through the order admirably too. So keep an eye on Lucas Lur, the GT world champion, the serial class winner at the Le Mans 24 Hours and other endurance events, trying his hand at the world of EuroNASCAR. And let's see how he adapts today. Gianmarco Ercoli on the inside of the front row as they run 2x2 towards turn 14. We will hear the roaring thunder of some 12,000 horsepower of stock cars in just a few moments. Alexander Graf on the outside of the front row in that 64. Alan Day is next. Patrick Lemery in the 4th position. Keep an eye on Day and Lemery. I'm sure they'll be on the attack, but it's Ercoli who will lead them and control them as they run down towards 2x2 formation, and we're underway. Gianmarco Ercoli looked to get a good start there, but we'll see as we see them run towards turn 1. He's gone defensive on Alexander Graf there. He has stamped his authority on the lead of the race in the opening corners. Ercoli through then. Alexander Graf in 2nd. Alan Day in 3rd position. In fact, make that 2nd position because he's up the inside and he's passed Alexander Graf. Alan Day already up to 2nd. Roman Iannetta on the attack for 4th place down there. I think he almost ended up on the gravel trap trying to do that. In 4th place, by the looks of it, is Tobias Dauenhauer. I think that means Lemery is all the way down to 6th place. It seems as though everybody has got through the first few corners without too much drama. But Gianmarco Ercoli has started this race in the exact way he would have wanted to. Ercoli leads in the 54. Alan Day, oh, and a big moment there for 2 drivers. That's the 33 car, Cosimo Barberini, and I think the 65 Ricardo Romagnoli may be involved with that as well. Yeah, Romagnoli, I think, in the 65 could have been involved with that, but we'll wait and see as the cars come across the timing screen for the first time. But certainly Barberini facing the wrong way there at turn 6. The car's going through turn 11 for the first time. Bit of sideways action there from the number 3 of Frederick Gabillon, but everyone else fairly clean through this corner. They need to be careful with the tyres at this stage. And oh, we've gone full course yellow. Okay, so everybody now slowing down. Unfortunately, we're about 3 wide as we went to full course yellow, so they're going to have to try and sort this one out among themselves. But look at the gap that Ercoli had already. He had built a massive gap, and I'm just wondering if maybe he got the full course yellow call a bit late, actually, but we have gone to full course yellow now. Just hearing from some of the eyes down on the circuit, it looked like Vittorio Gurelli potentially who was involved with Cosimo Barberini there. And oh yes, there's the 65 car. That's Romagnoli then. So he was also involved, and that's down between 6 and 7. So Romagnoli was there. He was on the scene. But nonetheless, these cars are now crawling along. I believe it's 3rd gear and 2,500 revs, if if memory serves me correctly, under full course yellow. It works out about 78 kilometers an hour. They don't have traditional limiters on these cars for a full course yellow, but they've got a good solution there, putting the car into third and keeping the revs low. Everyone holding to the agreed RPM, therefore everyone cruising around the circuit. And unfortunately, here we see some of the battle scarring in the early stages already. Dario Casso once again with a slightly wounded car. We've seen him struggle a couple of times, and actually it was down at turn 2. Okay, I thought it was as far as turn 6 that these cars got into each other, but there you can see it's turn 2, and Girelli unfortunately going no further, and nor is Cosimo Barberini. Girelli's had an absolute mare of a weekend. He was a title contender last year, of course. I marked him as a hot favourite this year in my notes as well, but unfortunately that's not really shown thus far. 5th in Pro last year, 2020 EuroNASCAR 2 champion. Also a champion in Auto GP back in 2013, the Formula 2 equivalent series at the time, I suppose you could say. But we anticipated that he'd be a hot favourite in this season. Unfortunately, he's not really showing that so far this weekend. He's going to have a perfect run in the season from here on out, isn't he? So then safety car has been declared, which means that we will see the field controlled under safety car rather than full course yellow very soon. That's to make sure that the cars are all bunched together, make sure the marshals are safe to go out there and retrieve the stricken cars. The leader, though, is still the pink number 54 of Gianmarco Ercoli. He's a champion in his own right back in 2015 in what was then the Elite 2 class, having graduated almost directly from the world of karting. He did a bit of Formula BMW and the like, I believe, but only a very select few races before coming up to the world of EuroNASCAR. He was remarkably consistent in the 2021 season, took 7 podiums and a victory over the course of the year. And, well, he was runner-up last year. Of course, the driver he was runner-up to isn't present this year, so he'll be hoping. That leaves the door open for him to potentially be a championship challenger. Alan Day, however, will definitely have something to say about that, and I wouldn't mind betting that the 2 drivers we see at the sharp end of the order could be the main title protagonists all season long, especially with the likes of Girelli falling by the wayside in the early stages of this second race. But there are so many competitive drivers that could yet be contenders in this year's championship. Look to the likes of Lemarie, Graf, and maybe even the likes of Lucas Luhr as they adapt to the world of the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. You see the cars cruising. Oh dear, there is a lot of fiberglass pointed in directions it should not be, but I'm sure that will be rectified fairly sharpish. We are now on to the 3rd lap of the race then, and they are now under safety car conditions. And there you see the safety car has indeed joined the circuit now that they've gone back around again. No real uptick in speed with the, well, a little bit of an uptick of speed now that they've got the Peugeot 208 leading them around, but of course the real pace will come when we go racing again, which shouldn't take too long. We have efficient marshals here on the banks here at Valencia. Busy guys all year round. Of course, the marshals, wherever we go, are an integral part of keeping motor racing safe, keeping motor racing going as a whole. And as always, we extend our thanks to the marshals here at the circuit. That safety car driver may need to get wildcard entry into EuroNASCAR Pro. It's the 3rd safety car that we've had so far this weekend in EuroNASCAR Pro. You saw there just a moment ago some of the spotters up on the top of the garages. They can see the entire lap from the top of the garages here at Valencia. Also a very good place for circuit commentators as well, because you can see the whole lap from the commentary boxes in the paddock as well. The main building here very much overlooks the facility in its full incarnation. There's Alan Day in second position. You just know that he's going to very quickly make a bid on victory. And there's the 89 car. That's Davide De Lara, and that car, oh dear. That car does not look at all in good condition. I'm sure it'll be very quickly repaired, and we'll see Davide again at Brands, but that does not look good, does it? That's a car that's seen some better days. Davide De Lara, who debuted in EuroNASCAR back in 2020. He's had a rotten run of form here at Valencia, unfortunately. Keep an eye on Sebastian Bleekemolen as well. He is a class winner at the Sebring 12 Hours and the Petit Le Mans. An absolute veteran of GT Porsche racing. He also is a multiple-time Clio Cup champion, debuted here in EuroNASCAR in 2019, took 3 podiums last year, and he'll be looking to improve upon that luck and form in the next in this year. Currently sitting in 7th place, certainly room to move forward from there. And that number 72 car of Ian-Eric Varden is not in the best of condition, it must be said. Ian, who is a prolific TV commentator, actually, over in Finland. A Scandinavian Ferrari champion numerous times also. Made his debut in EuroNASCAR back in 2018. Let's take a look then at the start of this race. It was an authoritative start from Gianmarco Ercoli. We see that he very quickly cut the nose off of Alexander Graf, made sure that he'd have the lead into turn 1. Alan Day was right there with him to try and move forward into second place. He had the inside line, he had second by the time they got to turn 1 and cemented the move at turn 2. And then, of course, further back in the pack at turn 2, we saw Garelli and Barberini come together. And that is the primary cause for this safety car, although Ricardo Romagnoli and Davide De Lara also had their issues on that first lap, clearly. Top 10 as it stands then, as the safety car is due in this lap. The top 10 as it stands, Gianmarco Ercoli is our race leader, Alan Day in second place. Then it's Alexander Graf, Tobias Downhauer, Roman Iannetta and Patrick Lemarie, our top 6. Sebastian Bleekemolen, Nicolo Rocca, yesterday's winner in 8th place. Mark Goossens up to 9th, and Martin Dubeck, the first of the Challenge Trophy winners, Challenge Trophy runners, I should say, in 10th place. Our EuroNASCAR 2 champion from last year into the top 10 here at the moment. You see the cars are once again forming up in 2x2 formation. They're about to cross the line to complete the 4th lap, so we will resume the race at the beginning of lap number 5. 13 laps of running left to go. Sometimes they say that cautions breed cautions. Let's see if that's the case here today. 2x2 formation once again as we get ready to go racing. It will be Ercoli once again on the inside. Alan Day this time drag racing with him, and some eager beavers further back in the pack, but everybody underway now. We are racing, and it is Ercoli who looks like he will lead into the turn 1. Look for Alexander Graf on the inside of Alan Day. He's not quite close enough for a move. Downhauer there in 4th place, holding on to that position. It is Ercoli that leads the way then from Alan Day, and Downhauer all the way around the outside. He's got himself up to third position. Some nudging and moving and shaking further back in the pack, but hopefully everyone's clean through turn 2 this time. Side by side there for 5th place. That's between Roman Iannetta. I think that's Nicola Rocca. So Rocca's made up some places there in the early corners of the lap. Lots of 2 and 3 wide all the way through the order. Gianmarco Ercoli it is that leads them though. Alan Day will be looking to try and challenge Tobias Downhauer up into 3rd place. Good driving from Downhauer. But look at Alexander Graf, he dives back up the inside at turn 11. What a move from Alexander Graf. He's back through into 3rd place then as they run towards turn 12. But Downhauer immediately looks to the inside, isn't going to be able to do that, unfortunately. He may have slightly compromised his run through turns 12 and 13 as well, having that little look to the inside. And here they go through turn 14. Some fun stats coming through for me from Gianluca Giulia of EuroNASCAR, saying that Ercoli has never won here in EuroNASCAR Pro. Race Leader has never taken the victory here, but Alan Day, with 5 wins to his name at this facility, has 5 wins, second all time, only behind Villarino. So Alan Day certainly knows how to win a race here in EuroNASCAR at Valencia. Can Ercoli hold him off? Alan Day has been here in EuroNASCAR competition for many a season. He's honed his craft. He's become one of the all-stars of the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. But every year, more people knock on the door. More people come in looking to be the quickest. Side by side at the back of shot there, Giorgio Maggi trying to make up some places. Tobias Downhauer demoted to 4th place then by Alexander Graf once again. Graf briefly lost 3rd, but he very quickly stamped his authority on the number 50, and up the inside goes Iannetta. Oh, it's so much fun watching Roman Iannetta. He really does like a dive, doesn't he? And up the inside he has gone. Nicola Rocca in 6th position there. So he has indeed moved himself into the top half dozen, and you get the feeling he's going to make a move for 5th place soon. Tobias Downhauer looking to be under threat once again. The car that he shares with young Liam Hazemans, who's in his first weekend of racing, had a brilliant run in EuroNASCAR too. Alan Day was incredibly close to Gianmarco Ercoli coming down the straight there. He has a look to the inside. He's not close enough, but you get the feeling that Alan Day is maybe just moments away from a dive here. He's not going to be close enough into turn 2. He's certainly showing that he's a threat. I'm sure Alan will be aware of the permutations of a win here today if he can tie himself on the all-time list of Valencia winners in EuroNASCAR. Tie himself at the top. That would be quite the delight for him. Alan Day pressing on in 2nd place then. Let's see if Gianmarco Ercoli can withstand the pressure. It's a good run out of turn 6 through the kink at turn 7. Is Day going to have a look to the inside this time? Wait and see whether or not he made the move. You see Nicola Rocca harassing Tobias Downhauer back in 5th place. I don't think Day managed to get through on that occasion. No, he did not. So Gianmarco Ercoli has run it a bit deep there at turn 11, but Alan Day also fighting the steering wheel for everything he's worth. Through 12 and 13 they go for what is the 7th time in this race already. Race feels a lot shorter with this safety car period that started on the very first lap. Alan Day looks like he's going to get another strong run out of the last corner here. Ercoli goes wide. This could be the opportunity for Alan Day. He senses it. He's in the slipstream of the pink car. It's the 54 versus the 24. And is Day going to take a look to the inside? He's put the nose there, but he's not quite close enough. Once again, he's going to try and hold the momentum through turn 1. Not going to be close enough at 2 either, I don't think. Although he is later on the brakes. You saw there the car length suddenly shrink between the two of them. Oh, goodness me, these two cars looking very nice as well. Neither one looking too squirrely yet. Although, of course, as these Hoosier tyres continue to build mileage, you may see them start to fight the car ever more. These tyres have already been through the ringer in qualifying and yesterday's race, the exact same rubber, so... Oh, and there you see Ercole with an example of what I was saying there. Just starting to see the limits of adhesion, particularly on the rear axle. And so, as these two continue to fight, I'm getting a few bulletins through. Time penalties for leaving the line early at the start applied to 4 drivers. One of them, unfortunately, is Lucas Lur, who has put in a fabulous performance to this point. He's up to 7th place. I think he probably got duped by other drivers starting early ahead of him. We saw a lot of cars kind of jump the gun a bit. Lucas Lur is one of them. Another one is the car just behind him, Patrick Lemarie. We also have the number 4 being penalised for that. That's Yannick Panagiotis at the back of the order in the 48 car. Another one that I think is a bit further back, it's Yevgen Sokolovsky in 18th place. But unfortunately, 2 drivers in the top 10, 7th and 8th place drivers, Lucas Lur and Patrick Lemarie, have both been penalised for that. It'll be a time penalty, I'm guessing 5 seconds. Oh, the number 55 car off. That's Fabrizio Armetta. I think that was at turn 13 on the slip road after turn 12, unfortunately, for Armetta. So another car in strife. I feel so bad for Lucas Lur. He's shown some great pace here this weekend. We know what Lucas is capable of. A serial title winner. And here is a replay of what happened to Armetta. He was getting really, really into it with Claudio Capelli, and okay. The car kind of disagreed with the physicality of the racing there. Unfortunately for Capelli, he will be going no further today. The gap's out a little further between Ercole and Alan Day on this lap. Day looking a bit less threatening on Ercole than he has done in recent laps. Of course, those drivers that have served a time penalty, they'll be ruining the safety car. Of course, safety car, I think, is where the time penalties came from anyway, after the safety car period ended. But that also means they've got less laps to try and build a gap to cover off the time penalty that they've received. Alan Day. What's the gap between the two of them now? It's out to 1.2 seconds, so it's gone up by 0.8 on that lap alone. Got a car rejoining just ahead of the leaders. That's the number 8 of Dario Casso. I'm sure Dario will be conscious of what's going on around him, but always a bit nervy for the driver when you see someone rejoin ahead of you like that. Down in 8th place is the number 5 car. In fact, where's Lucas Lur gone? I think he's come into pits potentially. Where's Lucas on my timing screen? I'm not seeing him. He's 19th place, so yes, I think he did pop into the pit lane there. In fact, no, it was the middle sector where he lost his time, so I think off camera Lucas Lur has had a bit of a moment because he's set a 49-second middle sector on that last lap. Everyone else is in the mid-30s. So I think Lucas has had a spin or a trial of some sort somewhere out there. That means that this battle now for 6th and 7th place between Douwenhauer and Lemarie. Lucas Lur was in 7th place, so Lemarie has bumped up a position. Douwenhauer is once again the leader in the junior class as well, the junior trophy. 8th place there for Sebastian Bleekemolen. He's being followed by Martin Dubeck and Mark Goossens at the moment. Goossens and Bleekemolen have definitely had a few battles over the years in various types of car. And Martin Dubek is piggy in the middle at the moment. EuroNASCAR 2 champion from last year. Right in the thick of it with the pro drivers as well. He pulls double duty in both classes in the 2022 season. And there you see Downhauer trying to get past the wounded car of Dario Casso. Dubek with an optimistic look up the inside there on Bleekemolen. That might leave him susceptible to an attack from Mark Goossens. Goossens up the inside, but not able to make a move. He's also got to be conscious of Frederic Gabillon behind him in the number 3. Gabillon in 11th place right now, would be very happy to break into the top 10. I'm sure he'll do everything in his power to do so. They're now all coming up on this wounded car of Dario Casso, who, to his credit, manages to stay well out of the way there as he goes a lap down. That car has definitely seen better days. Looks more like a old Whelen modified series car over in North America rather than a Whelen Euro Series NASCAR. That number 8 at the moment, at least at the front end. Dubek then continuing to hound the back of Seb Bleekemolen. Meanwhile, the 54 car with a black and white flag. The 54, of course, is our race leader. So Gianmarco Ercoli getting a black and white warning flag. I'd suggest that's probably track limits related. Tends to be the case. So he's been told to watch himself a little bit, and Alan Day will be rubbing his hands. Potentially, if Ercoli has to drive a little more conservatively and carefully, that could spell danger for him. Alan Day will certainly smell blood in the water as he continues to chase. We're on to lap 12 of 18, so we're at 2/3 distance, about 50 kilometers of this circuit completed. The warning was indeed for track limits. For the number 54, so there you go, track limits are being observed here, and if you do keep pushing your luck, you will end up with a time penalty. And the dam has broken. Sebastian Bleekemolen has been overtaken by Martin Dubek, so our challenge class leader has just managed to break himself through into, what, 8th place. Dubek really showing his stuff here. He's got past Sebastian Bleekemolen, no easy feat at all. Mark Goossens is next in the queue then. He wants to try and get around the 69 car also. Sebastian Bleekemolen is going to be working overtime at the wheel of his Mustang. Not only is Mark Goossens on his tail, but he's also got Frederic Gabillon there, Giorgio Maggi waiting in the wings too. I've alluded to it a few times this weekend. The sheer competitiveness of this grid in 2022 makes a very interesting viewing. We had a car off in the gravel there at turn 8 we just saw in the foreground of shot. It may have been there a while. I might be only spotting it retroactively, but certainly we've got at least one car off down there in the gravel. And there we see the 3rd place man, Alexander Graf. He's having a fairly controlled and easy race at the moment, isn't he? No such luck for Sebastian Bleekemolen. He's under pressure from Goossens. Goossens with a look to the inside. Oh, I thought that was going to be a lot more fraught than it ended up being for a moment there, but Goossens is on the attack. He again shows a nose, but isn't able to find a way through just yet. But Bleekemolen runs it wide. He tries to get the car around the corner. He has to muscle it every inch of the way, and I think with the inside into turn 4, he will just about hold on to 9th place at least for another few corners. Goossens is pushing him every inch of the way. Gabillon is right there behind them too. Great fighting for 9th place at the moment. Every point counts at the end of the year. Every position matters in EuroNASCAR competition. And Goossens wants to get himself up into the order. Of course, every point counts for Goossens in particular because his engine, or his car at least, came to a grinding halt in yesterday's race, and there's the opportunity he needs. Bleekemolen leaves the door open. They're side by side through 9 and 10. Who's going to have the nose clean? Surely it's going to be Blake Molen with the inside line into turn 11. They're still side by side. And Goossens is still around the outside. The absolute temerity of Mark Goossens has allowed him to stay around the outside. And he's got the position. Amazing driving. 9th place then for Goossens. And that's allowed the number 3 car through as well. Good job from Gabion to capitalise. And I think Maggi's going to follow for good measure. And look at Gabion, he's all over the back of Mark Goossens. Absolutely fabulous racing from everyone involved here in this battle for 9th place, and it looks to me as though Gabion didn't quite get the run he needed. No, he falls back behind. But goodness me, Mark Goossens up into 9th place, Gabion in 10th, Maggi in 11th, and Seb Blakemolen down to 12th place in one fell swoop there. A great illustration. Sometimes trying to save one position will cost you 3, and that's exactly what's happened to Sebastian Blakemolen on that lap. Right then, so the next task for Mark Goossens is not only defending from Frederic Gabion, it's also... 2 cars off. Okay, so that's the number 4 car. I think that was the one I saw in the gravel before. Safety car has been deployed. Yannick Panagiotis is in the gravel. We saw the 16 car in too. That's Claudio Capelli. Now, those were separate incidents, I think. Panagiotis has been in there for a while, but unfortunately, Capelli has joined him, and with 2 cars in the gravel there at turn 8, it's just not really possible. And we're just getting word as well. I think Gianmarco Ercoli has received a penalty. Yes, okay, so I missed that on the timing screen and amongst all of that fighting for 9th place. But Gianmarco Ercoli has received a 5-second penalty now for track limits. So he saw the black and white flag displayed to him. Unfortunately, he did not abide, and now he's got a penalty proper. A 5-second penalty as we go under safety car. This is a huge marker for Alan Day. We're going on to lap 14 of the race now, or make that lap 15 of the race. My apologies, we're on to lap 15 of the race. We could well be under safety car until the very last lap here. We're getting a replay here of Ercoli once again abusing the track limits as he was coming under pressure from Alan Day, and it's that kind of driving, unfortunately, that has netted him a 5-second penalty and will, more than likely, hand the victory over to Alan Day. It may also, with this safety car period coming in, it's going to benefit the likes of Alexander Graf, potentially Nicolo Rocca, Roman Iannetta. We could well see Ercoli fall out of the top 5 here, you know. A really unlucky safety car for Ercoli. He may have been able to finish 2nd place with the track limits penalty, but well. With this safety car in, that has dramatically altered the race for Gianmarco Ercoli. Unfortunately, with that moment for Claudio Remigio Capelli, the safety car had to be deployed. They are retrieving the car already. I think we might get a couple of laps under green flag running, all told. We've also seen warnings given to the 47 and the 90. So the 90 is well down the order. Nicolo Gabossi, and the 47 down in 17th is Leonardo Colavita. The young 16-year-old testing his luck with the track limits. As you can see there, the marshals have the board out. But then let's recap through the top dozen or so cars. Gianmarco Ercoli is our leader, albeit with a massive asterisk against his name, because he has a 5-second penalty to be applied. Alan Day in the 2nd position. He will more than likely inherit a win here unless Alexander Graf can challenge him. We get another look at some of the questionable track limits from Ercoli. He had his wheels, I think, all the way off the curb even there. You see car getting unlapped as well. I think that might be the number 8. Yes, the slightly modified front end of Dario Casso. He will unlap himself and get to the back of the queue, which will probably be a relief for him. He won't have to do quite so much looking over the shoulder. But to run you through the rest of the top 10, behind Ercole and Day, it is Alexander Graf. Nicolo Rocca there in 4th place. He could end up inheriting a podium here. Our race winner from yesterday, who started 8th place today. Roman Iannetta in 5th place. 6th place is Patrick Lemarie. Tobias Downhauer in 7th. Martin Dubeck behind him. Downhauer is the leader in the Junior Trophy. Martin Dubeck is the leader in the Challenge Trophy. Both of them are the only representatives of those 2 trophies within the top 10 as well. Mark Goossens is in 9th place. Frederic Gabillon is in 10th. Of course, Lemarie, I believe, has copped himself a penalty as well, if memory serves correctly. There's quite a few penalties at play here in this race. Mark Goossens down in 9th, Gabillon in 10th, as we said, Giorgio Maggi in 11th. And of course, with that sequence of racing action that we saw just before the safety car was deployed, unfortunately, Sebastian Bleekemolen is all the way down to 12th place. Indeed, one of the top cars that received a penalty because of leaving the line early at the start is Patrick Lemarie, so he will likely fall out of the top 10 with this safety car as well. It's not a good time to have a safety car, is it? We're on lap 16 of the race now, so if we do get the safety car in this time, and we just confirmed as I say that the safety car is in this lap, that means we're going to have a 2-lap dash to the finish here. Kind of like the green-white checker at the Daytona 500. We've got 2 laps to resolve everything here in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. About 5 miles, 8 kilometers of racing. And Gianmarco Ercole is going to hope that he can run unchallenged into turn 1 and start building an advantage. I frankly refuse to believe he can make 5 seconds on Alan Day in 2 laps. I think he's more than likely going to fall off the podium entirely, but he's going to try as hard as he can to not get caught up in battles here. We're lining up 2 by 2 once again as we get ready for the rolling start. Take 3 when it comes to rolling starts here today. And it's going to be just the 2 laps. You hear about cautions breeding cautions, and well, I don't know if we're going to get another caution, but we're certainly going to get some big racing, and caution will be thrown to the wind with 2 laps of racing left to go. 2 by 2 formation, traditional NASCAR style restart incoming. Gianmarco Ercole, our race leader, has a 5-second penalty to his name for track limits, and that's going to surely prove costly for him. Safety car in. We will see the green lights on the gantry in just a few moments, and we'll be back to racing conditions. 2 more laps at Valencia, and we're underway. And it's a good start from Alan Day, you know. Day absolutely launched the car, and Ercole could end up down to 3rd place on the road. No, just 2nd. But even on the road now, he's lost the lead. With the 5-second penalty, he was always destined to lose it anyway. He's going to hope that he and Alan Day can just drive off here as everyone else battles. It's Nicolo Rocca up to 3rd place as well. Up into the top 5 has gone Martin Dubeck as well. Alexander Graf has been swallowed whole. I think Graf is down outside of the top 5 now. Certainly Rocca is in 3rd place. Iannetta 4th. Dubeck in 5th. In 6th place is the 64 of Alexander Graf by the looks of it. Then it's Lemarie, I think, in 7th. Mark Goossens fighting for 8th with Frederic Gabillon. Gabillon under pressure from Downhauer, who's also lost positions. Downhauer now on the verge of being out of the top 10. He's got to keep an eye on Giorgio Maggi because that's the junior class win as well. In fact, I think Maggi is right behind the number 50 on track. Yes, you can see it there in the back of shot. So the junior trophy could be up for grabs here for Giorgio Maggi. He'd like to try and best Tobias Dauenhauer here. Everyone sides their way through turn 11 and 12. We're going to be starting the final lap this time. And it is Alan Day, where he is so familiar with being, in the lead at Valencia. 5 previous wins for Alan Day here. And he could be making it 6 to equal the record in just a lap's time. Gianmarco Ercoli in second place, and look, he is building a gap over third, but still, he has to be 5 seconds clear of Roca to retain second place, and I don't think that's going to happen. I think, frankly, he's probably going to be outside of the top 5 once the timing screen corrects itself. So then the order with Graf back into 5th place, he got back around Martin Dubek. So the order is Alan Day in the lead, Ercoli in second with the 5-second penalty to be applied. Then it's Roca, then it's Iannetta. Graf and Dubek follow in 5th and 6th. Lemery also with a penalty to be applied in 7th. Mark Goossens 8th, Frederick Gabillon in 9th. And Lucas Leur has rounded out the top 10 for now. Although he too has a penalty, so he will drop down the order. Lots of drivers here with unfortunate 5-second penalties that are only going to be hampered by the fact that we've just gone back to green flag running. The caution came at the worst possible time. The final lap of the race then, and Alan Day will be confident here. There would be no merit at all to Gianmarco Ercoli making a move because he's got the 5-second penalty anyway. I'm sure Alan Day will be keeping an eye anyway. He doesn't want to take any undue risk. He doesn't want to take his eye off the ball, but he's just 2 corners away. He rounds the long turn 13 here. The 24 car on either side of the Atlantic is a force to be reckoned with. Around the final corner goes Alan Day. And he will take his first win of the 2022 EuroNASCAR Championship in the Pro class. The 3-time champ puts his name on the victory list for 2022, and he ties the record for the most wins here at Valencia in EuroNASCAR competition. Alan Day with a brilliant win. Ercoli still listed second on the timing screen, but he's going to drop further than that. He'll be lucky to stay in the top 10, actually, once the penalty is applied. So it will be Alan Day who claims the win. Nicolo Roca will be second. Roman Iannetta will be third. Alexander Graf will be 4th. Iannetta getting a podium there. He will be delighted with that, I reckon. Roman Iannetta, who is always fun to watch in these EuroNASCARs, has been a part of EuroNASCAR almost from the beginning. He'll be delighted with that, but no one's going to have a bigger smile in the paddock than Alan Day. He started 16th for race 1 yesterday. Brilliantly fought his way back through the order. And he will feel that this is the perfect cap-off to a mixed weekend. It will put him right back in title contention as well. It will make sure that he is at the sharp end of the points scoring. And of course, Ercoli's issues will further hamper his championship prospects. He had a gearbox issue yesterday and ended up many, many laps down. Alan Day, with 2 strong finishes, will be right up there in the points table once all that maths has been completed. Here we see what was arguably the most important moment in the race. Ercoli once again trying far too hard, asking too much of the car, going wide, abusing the track limits and costing himself a victory potentially. Although of course he was demoted to second place on that restart organically. It looks like with the penalty applied, Ercoli has been demoted to 6th place then. Timing screen in a state of flux at the moment as the maths is done down in the race control. But the order in the top 10 by the looks of it definitively is going to be Alan Day in the 24 claiming the win. We knew that bit. Nicolo Roca in 2nd, Roman Iannetta in 3rd, Alexander Graf 4th, Mark Goossens 5th. Gianmarco Ercoli slots in 6th place. Frederick Gabillon in 7th, Tobias Downhauer in 8th, who did hold on to the junior trophy win, Sebastian Blakemolen in 9th, and Massimilio Lanza in 10th place. He will take the challenge trophy. It looks like Martin Dubeck has been knocked way down the order there as well. He's 15th now. I didn't see a penalty applied to him, so maybe he had a moment further back. The restart is under investigation as a whole, so I suggest there will be a few changes and cuts and adjustments to the order. That restart is under investigation. And here we see the restart. You'll see a few drivers kind of launch the cars early here. In fact, this, I believe, is the initial start to the race, isn't it? So this was how we got underway here at Valencia, with Ercole going highly defensive. Graf losing pace to, or losing places to a few drivers in the early going, principal among them Alan Day. Some cars driving around very, very wounded indeed, especially Dario Casso's car that ended up losing its nose altogether before the end of the race. Unfortunately, turn 2, lap 1, a collision between the 33 and the 36. Vittorio Gorelli once again not getting any points on the board. A huge disappointment for him. We had another go at a restart, and a few drivers were penalised as a result of that restart. However, no such penalties, no such dramas for Alan Day, the 24 car, in victory lane, arguably, one would say, where it belongs. The 3-time champ back at the top. Career win number 28 for Alan Day. Celebrations inbound. Obviously, you can't see his smile yet, but the body language in the helmet certainly looks like that of a happy man. He's been greeted by Andre Viegold, a man who will have spoken to Alan Day a number of times over the years, I'm sure, courtesy of his successes at the wheel of EuroNASCARs. And he will be out of the car momentarily to celebrate and then have the interview with Andre. That is a stunning looking car as well, the Monster Energy number 24 car. Part of the PK Car Sport stable. A team with so much success. The big rigs are heading out onto the circuit now, as you can see. The festivities, the Americana continuing here. And out of the car, by the looks of it, then, is Alan Day. And the celebrations are about to begin in earnest for Alan. Looks like he's pretty tired as well. After 18 laps, he's very eager to get the race suit off, and you can see there he's been sweating. These are physical cars. And he's trying to rehydrate himself as best he can. I'm sure it's less than ideal in temperatures over 25 degrees to be wrestling around a car like this, but I'm sure he's had fun on the way, and once he is rehydrated and recuperates a bit, he will see the true extent of this positive result for his championship campaign. Out of the car he gets. Again, straight to the water bottle. I don't think we're going to see him up on the roof, you know. I think fluid intake is the only thing he can think about right now. He's having a debrief with the team. I think Nicolo Roca will be delighted with that result as well. I believe that should make him our championship leader. A win yesterday, a second place today. Another look then at the replay of the first start to the race. Of course, once again, we had 2 safety car periods and thus 2 restarts today. Some good battling further back between Graf and Downhauer in the early laps, but Downhauer had many positions lost in this race, actually. He was fighting hard, but it seemed that quite a few drivers had the edge on Tobias. Tobias, though, still claiming the junior trophy honours, and that will be important to him, as will having 2 top 10s in his first EuroNASCAR Pro weekend. I'm sure he'll be delighted with that. The double runner-up of EuroNASCAR 2 has moved leaps and bounds over the winter. You can see his improvement for yourself. And I'm sure he will come into Brands Hatch with lots of positive momentum. Got some great battling between Sebastian Bleekemolen and Mark Goossens earlier on, as you can see on this replay. And once the door was opened by Goossens, Frédéric Gabillon said, sure, I'll join you, and moved up through into what was at the time, I believe, 9th place. He ended up finishing 7th. Mark Goossens with the top 5. He'll be delighted with how that went for him. The final restart after the second safety car, though, was not a good one for Ercole. He ended up falling behind Alan Day. We also saw the fender falling off the number 1 car. Thomas Chrysonis with a bit of weight shedding towards the end. The cheerleaders back in force then, as we celebrate ahead of the podium. Good job from them, as always, to keep the party going. And I think we are now going to hear from some of the drivers in a few moments with our good friend Andre down in the pits.
Hello guys, we had a little bit of confusion here because there was a late penalty. We have the provisional results, and the provisional results say that Nicola Rocca is the winner of the second race of EuroNASCAR Pro. 2 races, 2 race wins.
Yeah, man, amazing. I wasn't expecting this from starting from P7. I finished the race 3rd, and then it came out that 2 guys in front got a penalty, so, you know, like, I gotta take it. It's amazing. I could have not dreamed of anything better. It's amazing.
Thank you so much. Congratulations, grazie mille. Yeah, this is Racing 2. Back to Mark. Adam, of course.
Sorry, no worries. Alan Day then has been demoted to 4th place with a penalty. Okay, well, this is very interesting. I think he's got himself a 5-second penalty too. Yes, he has, and it's because of a false start at the final restart. So Alan Day was judged to make a false start, and that has put him out of the podium contention. It's also put this man, Roman Iannetta, up to 2nd place. I'm sure he knows it by now, but he's only just found out.
Yes, he found out right now. Roma Iannetta, you are 2nd place because of a late penalty against Alan Day. It looked pretty decent out there, right?
Yeah, it's crazy race. I'm very happy for Marco Steve Motorsport. First podium in pro driver for them. I'm so happy. The race was crazy. Some penalty. We finished 2nd. It's great. Thank you, the team. Thank you all the guys.
All right, thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Merci beaucoup.
That was a nice dismount off the car from Nicola Rocca. He's found out he's the winner, and he now celebrates with the Cal Racing team once again. Oh, no doubt over who's going to be our championship leader then. Double victory for Nicola Rocca this weekend in interesting circumstances. They're probably reluctant to hand out the trophies in case there are any further changes to the result, but we believe that this top 10 that we see on our screens is now official. That means Nicola Rocca, Roman Iannetta and Alexander Graf are top 3, Alan Day 4th, Mark Goossens 5th, Gianmarco Ercole in 6th place, Frédéric Gabillon in 7th, Downhauer 8th, Sebastian Bleekemolen in 9th, and Massimilio Lanza in 10th. So it's been a fluctuating top 10. The penalties have come in thick and fast. There's going to be inquiries long into the night here, but I don't think Nicola Rocca will be a part of any of them. It looks like he is ready to party. I was just taking in the lovely music of one of the big trucks there. That was very nice indeed. I'm sure we will soon hear from Alexander Graf too, but there you see Alan Day. We thought he was going to be the race winner. We were wondering why we hadn't heard from him yet. And well, it turns out he's only finished 4th once everything has been dissected and reviewed. And well, still a positive result for Alan. But nonetheless, let's go down to Tobias Downhauer, who won the junior trophy.
Adam, you said it well. We have a parade of trucks here. I hope you can understand me, Tobias. Junior trophy win. went pretty well. Your EuroNASCAR Pro debut, you must be happy, right?
Yeah, overall it was a very good weekend for us in my debut in Pro Class. Now I could win the Junior Trophy again, very happy with that. After the second pace car, safety car, I was a bit unlucky. I was 2 times on the wrong place in the wrong time, so yeah, a bit frustrating, but still happy to win the Junior Trophy, and overall it was a good weekend.
Super, vielen Dank. Adam, I think you heard more than me.
Probably did, yes, he sounds happy anyway. Yes, well, if it isn't club music playing at full volume, it's the trucks saying hello. So I feel sorry for Andre, who is fighting against the elements down there in the paddock. And there you see Alan Day's car once again. The order is still under investigation. I'm not sure whether or not the trophies are going to be handed out before the investigations are completed. We'll be here a while if so. But certainly it seems as though Nicola Rocca will go down as our winner today. And the Cal Racing team awaiting the podium presentation. It seems like we're all ready to go with the podium, so hopefully in just a few moments we will get it. But, well, we've had drama on track here today in EuroNASCAR Pro, and if anything, the postscript has been even more awash with twists and turns. But the rules are there for a reason. The drivers know them. The officials have every right to implement them. And if someone's been judged to jump the start in the case of Alan Day or abuse the track limits in the case of Gianmarco Ercoli, then penalties have to be applied. It's not a matter for force majeure. I believe that's the helmet of Ionetta, 46 car. We saw the Canonori family on camera there as well, so great to see so many supporters of the drivers, supporters of the category in and around the paddock. As we said, 18,000 spectators have come today. So it is a really full paddock and a really festival-esque atmosphere here. It really is a celebration of Americana on the outskirts of Valencia at the circuit Ricardo Tormo. Hence the Star-Spangled Banner at the start of the show. And there is Alexander Graf in 3rd place, seemingly, as the postscript continues to unfold. Having a word with the social medias at the moment by the looks of it. And he looks fairly happy with his running. There you go, nice clip-on microphone there. I might have to buy that for myself. I like having a good interview after a race with my phone, and that would maybe help my production game. Certainly the EuroNASCAR team here, and the production has been immaculate as always here at Valencia, and they put in a big shift to make sure that the fans can follow it at home as well as here at the circuit. Be that here on the live stream or on the social platforms. I recommend you try and follow some of the drivers on social media as well. You do get an insight into what goes on between the races and between the weekends as well. We've got a while to go before they get to Brands Hatch on the 11th and 12th of June for sure. So the gathered masses watching on, and hopefully we will soon see a podium. You see the trucks out there doing their convoy run around the circuit. Here's the rest of the calendar then. We alluded to Brands Hatch on the 11th and 12th of June. Vallelunga on the 9th and 10th of July. We have Dane Baird calling the action on the live stream there, and at Most on September 3rd and 4th. Zolder on October the 8th and 9th, and the season finale will be the Autodrome Grobnik. Croatia hosting the final 2 rounds of the season on the 29th and 30th of October. And I think that's a very interesting little thing down at the bottom of the calendar. The Winter Classic to be announced, but I'm sure that could be a lot of fun come the winter months. You see some more interviews going on. That's, I believe, Massimiliano Lanza, the winner of the challenge class. Will also be on the outright podium too. Sorry, on the outright top 10, I should say. Discussion still ongoing. Romani Netta still having a chat. I think still trying to figure out for himself quite what's happened here, but he will take the second biggest trophy home after today's race. And look at that, inheriting interviews from the other team, just like that. Very well done, Andre, sliding in for an interview with Max Lanza.
The Challenger Trophy winner, Max Lanza, here with me. It was a good race, right?
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. It's a weekend started with bad qualifying, but in the race one and in this race I had 2 top 10, and in this race I win the Challenge Trophy. It's amazing.
You share the car with Alberto NASCAR, who did an amazing job in EuroNASCAR too. You guys, how do you work together to put the setup for the car together?
Yeah, Alberto is a very good driver, and we had the same sensation in the car, and this is very good. The setup was wonderful for both, and it's very good, and I'm very happy to have to share the car with him.
All right, thank you so much, grazie mille, and congratulations.
Wonderful to hear from a very happy Max Lanza then, who's had a fun weekend, I think it's safe to say. He's done more overtaking than just about anybody out there this weekend. I think we are just moments away from getting the podium underway. You see there Nicolo Rocca's car sitting in victory lane. And the local MC is, well, he was hyping something up. I don't know whether or not it is an incoming podium ceremony or not, but hopefully we're not too far away from getting the trophies handed out. Just getting some word from down in the paddock. They're still working hard in the race control. We could still be here in June, was the quote I was given. That's hypothetical, I think. But Alexander Graf is down with Andre. Let's have a word with him.
Yes, of course, we're still waiting for the final classification. There's a lot of work to do in race control, but for sure, you'll be on the podium.
Yeah, it's nice to be on the podium, absolutely. Of course, I'm disappointed to be third in this race, and I know that those 2 guys ahead of me, they should be behind me, so I'm a little bit disappointed to be P3, but in the end, it's the best result I ever had so far in EuroNASCAR Pro, so it's quite good anyway.
We have to consider you as a title contender with 2 podium finishes at the season opener. What can we expect from you at Brands Hatch?
Victory? I hope so. No, I like Brands Hatch so much, and I have had so much better results there than I have had like in this place. So maybe top step there.
When I think about the record grid in EuroNASCAR with more than 35 cars on the grid on a short track like the Indy circuit of Brands Hatch, what do you think, what kind of racing can we expect there?
Well, it's going to be like on lap 4 or something. We're going to see some blue flags. It's going to be chaotic, but it's going to be so much fun for the spectators to watch that race and all the audience to be there. So be sure to be first and quick.
Now you have to teach me something. I always try to say thank you in the language of the driver. So what's thank you in Swedish?
Tack.
Tack. Oh, that's easy. Yeah. I can remember that.
Again, try some. Tack så jättemycket. Tack så mycket.
I'll stay with tack. Thank you so much. And tack.
Tack så mycket.
Great stuff from Andre there. That was awesome. There you go. Tack Indeed, Alexander. Thank you for the interview. So, the debrief still no doubt ongoing down in the race control. I wouldn't envy the race director here today. Lots of supporters still walking around getting photos with the cars, and I'm sure they'll be here long into the evening to get the autographs, continue to try and maybe get some of the memorabilia from the teams at the end of a long weekend of racing. That's the inside of the 56 of Nicolo Rocca. In theory, our double race winner here today. You see the motto there, pure racing. Philosophy that applies to the cars in particular, 400 horsepower, 1,200 kilos, and no driving assists. If you're not able to handle a car without ABS and traction control, you're probably not going to get far in the world of EuroNASCAR. These drivers really do work hard. And you see the cream rise to the top in cars like these. Unfortunately, quite who has risen to the top is still under debate, courtesy of some of the issues.
Yeah, I think I take over right now. I'm here with Leonardo Colavita. At the moment, we are still discussing the overall classification, but with my information, you're third in the junior trophy ranks.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to have at least a podium this weekend. It's been a tough one. Had a bit of incidents, you know, but it's good to at least have something for the team to be happy with. Definitely didn't show our entire pace, but we'll bring it to Brands Hatch for sure.
You said you had some problems, but the overall feeling with the car and the setup, you're quite happy with that?
Yeah, the car overall was great. We were just lacking with the engine, with the new fuel. We did a lot of testing with the old fuel, so we still had to get all the jettings right, but by the end, we pretty much had it, so working towards Brands Hatch for sure.
All right, thank you so much and congratulations.
Thank you.
Still under debate, certainly. I think Andre's right to say, with his information, I think we all have slightly different information at the moment, and well, I'm not going to say anything too early, but it sounds like the story isn't over yet, to me. We'll have to wait and see, but there's a lot of discussion going on here. I'm being shown some bits of paper that say a certain driver is third, and then other conversations saying the driver is first. Not quite sure what's going on down there. However, I'm sure Andre will continue to get some interviews, and we'll just wait and see what happens.
No problem. I find a lot of people here to talk to, so we can at least cover the next hour. I think we have a lot of stories to tell. But with me right now, Chris Lehmann, the team manager of Marcus Motorsport. Chris, first ever EuroNASCAR Pro podium, so you must be happy as a team.
Yeah, it's amazing. We had a good performance even yesterday, but unfortunately we had a technical failure on the last lap, dropping down out of the top 5, I think down to P14. And we were really wanting to make up for it today, and fuck me. Thank you. Yeah, we couldn't be happier. We couldn't be happier.
I see it, yeah. Yes. So let's say just congratulations. Herzlichen Glückwunsch, vielen Dank. Okay. And now back to Adam again.
And apologies for any strong, spicy language you may have heard in that interview, but ice cold water on a hot day will do that to somebody. Well, we still await final confirmation on anything. I think we should just do rock, paper, scissors, personally. Might be a bit more efficient. The process and the number of penalties that seemingly may be dished out is significant, so the race control under significant pressure at the moment to just try and get everything sorted out and figured out. Hopefully with due course we will get a podium. Here's another look at the initial start of the race, where Coley was very efficient in managing his run to turn 1. He made sure Graf was all the way behind him, and that allowed Alan Day to side through into second place. EuroNASCAR had a strong start, and everyone else at the sharp end managed to keep their cars clean. Not so lucky in the mid-pack, though, the likes of Dario Casso with problems. And we saw Garelli, one of two drivers, stopped at turn 2 after the first lap. That brought out a safety car. That led to a race restart, and this was where the dramas started coming in. A few drivers started to receive penalties because of this restart. We saw several trying to jump the gun. We saw there Martin Tubeck being muscled down the order as well. Alexander Graf briefly fell to 4th place, but he got back past Tobias Dauenhauer, and Dauenhauer then started to seem susceptible to overtakes. EuroNASCAR got through. Soon, Ercole would follow, or rather, sorry, Rocca would follow. Ercole, though, ran wide as he was under pressure from Alan Day, and that ultimately is what cost him the victory. He did cross the line second on track ultimately, but fell well down the order after penalties were implied. We had great fighting between Mark Goossens and Sebastian Bleekemolen, side by side into T11, and Goossens all the way around the outside. The tenacious driving of Mark Goossens. Unfortunately, Bleekemolen then left himself open to a challenge as well from the number 3 car behind Frederic Gabillon. It was all kicking off in this battle. And then another restart, and Alan Day, you see there, he accelerated early. Unfortunately, that's why he hasn't got the claim on the win either. He crossed the line first, but since he jumped the start and a few others followed suit, things are still very much provisional here at Valencia. And he's now standing up on the car. In fact, no, this is a replay of earlier, isn't it? My apologies. Nicolo Rocca still celebrating, and that was the dismount I spoke about earlier on. That was a solid 8 out of 10 in terms of distance and height, I'd say, for Nicolo Rocca, who, at least as of now, is down as our winner, but things are still under investigation. Trophies are still not being handed out. And so that means that all things are still provisional by the looks of it. We should have definitive answers and podium ceremonies in the next few minutes, per the intel I'm receiving elsewhere. Andre's still on the hunt for interviews by the looks of it too. He's prowling around the victory lane. Hi, Andre.
Therefore, we still have to wait for a few more minutes because there are some parts of the race that are still under review. As soon as we have official confirmation about the overall classification, we will get back to you from the victory lane here.
Yeah, just I saw you and I thought, yeah, let's go say hello to him. Andre's still walking around the paddock and seeing what's going on. And we will, in the next couple of minutes, have a podium ceremony. Well, so I'm told. So we'll wait and see. But, well, we had 18 laps of exciting racing. And since then, we've had quite a lot of discourse and uncertainty as to quite who has stayed on the right side of the law here at the circuit Ricardo Tormo. Here's another replay of that final restart. You see there, well ahead of Ercole at the line, was Alan Day. And they're now just trying to judge everyone else too. Well, well, well. There's no such thing as an undramatic race in motorsport. There's always something going on behind the curtain. And at the moment, behind the curtain, I think it's fraught times in the race control building here at Valencia as we continue to await a definitive result, or at least a result that's solid enough to deliver trophies to people. Imagine some of the drivers will go to the airport before they even hand out the trophies, because some have already been disappointed here. Alan Day, I think, chief among them. And here we have another interview now in victory lane.
Yes, I'm here with Gustav Grinberger. Your first EuroNASCAR weekend. How was it?
I think it was incredible. So much action. Both races in EuroNASCAR Pro were just filled all the way from the start to the finish, where I was kind of in the mid-pack fighting for that, like, around top 10. There was always fighting. We were always in some kind of massive group going in front, behind, in front, behind. It's a different style of racing from what I'm used to, but I love it. You know, there's so much fighting. You can really follow the cars up close. It's a lot of hard work because the cars are so raw and so manual. But I want to thank Bagheera Racing. They've helped me a lot through the weekend. I think we've grown a lot. It was a debut for the team, a debut for me as well. And we just did, I think, an awesome job getting a top 10 in race 1. I don't know where we've ended up now. Nobody knows, I guess. But P2 in the juniors, so P3 and P2 in the juniors, I think that's the max we could have hoped for. So thanks to the team, thanks to my sponsors, and it's been an incredible weekend here at Valencia. Sunny Valencia as well.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. You talked about how to wrestle the car, but under those conditions, we had the cooking sun of Spain. We know that in the car it's up to 60 degrees Celsius. How physical was it for you?
I think for me, coming from endurance racing, it's a little bit easier because I've done these long distance stints. This is a bit shorter. This is like half an hour, 40 minutes. So doing these shorter stints, it's a bit easier for me, and I think that's where kind of my strength comes in. We maybe didn't have the ultimate pace, but keeping our heads cool, staying out of trouble, and getting those positions by that, not by actually being super quick maybe on track, but being smart and playing our cards right, being aggressive where we want to, and wrestling the car. Yeah, it's very, very physical, especially on the hands. Maybe not so much with the G-force you feel in the car, but it's very physical on the hands, and obviously very, very hot. But we've managed, and I think the ones that managed the heat and the fatigue the best all the way throughout the weekend, actually, because there was a lot of running and a lot of heat. So I think the ones that managed to keep their heads cool throughout the weekend, you know, prevailed today.
Last question: have you been to Brands Hatch, and what are you expecting there?
I have never been to Brands Hatch. I think the show that was put on here is going to continue all the way throughout the season.
All right, thank you so much, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Racing prior to this, I think both LMP3 and LMP2 at various junctures in the European and Asian Le Mans series. Since he's graduated from karting, he's just 19 years old, and well, he's certainly a good interview. I imagine Andre's probably going to doorstep him again if we ever have a significant delay, because he has a lot to say, and it's all very useful information. Interesting to hear those comparisons between the long-distance stints in an LMP and the sprint races in these stock car machines. And Gustas Grimbergas will be looking to be quicker and quicker as the year goes on. He's never been to Brands Hatch before. I can guarantee him he's in for a treat. I've seen EuroNASCAR in person at Brands. I've spent a lot of time at Brands Hatch as well. It's certainly not my local circuit, but I've spent a lot of time there, and it is a fabulous location to spectate and to race. And here we have another interview with Martin Dubek.
Yes, right. At the moment, you're listed as the second place driver in the Challenger Trophy. How was the race for you?
Finally, it's finished. It was a really hard weekend for me. I drove both categories, but the last race was the best one. I started for P9 and finished P5, but I think it will be some time penalty after the start because I moved too early before I crossed the start-finish line. But it was a really nice race. I really enjoyed the whole weekend. I did 2 times third position in EuroNASCAR 2 and 2 times 5th position in EuroNASCAR Pro, so I'm really happy. It was nice, but too hot.
As a reigning EuroNASCAR 2 champion, you're doing both categories. What are your overall goals in the 2022 season?
I will do my best to win both categories this season.
All right, thank you so much. Congratulations. And now we're still waiting for the official results of that race. So stay tuned and have a little bit of patience.
Dubek then looking to ascend to the top of the mountain, not just in EuroNASCAR 2, but also within EuroNASCAR Pro and the challenge class of that series. Dubek, who has shown lots of promise in the Pro order, it must be said. I mean, he's very quick in EuroNASCAR 2. He's a defending champion in EuroNASCAR 2, but I think anyone who's seen his performance here this weekend would justifiably say, well, he's clearly up to pro standard as well. He was fighting with the likes of Mark Goossens and Sebastian Bleekemolen, and you don't do that if you're not there on merit. The Cal Racing team posing for the pictures. They look pretty happy, and they're having a chat with the cameraman as well. Yes, you did just go out live to many, many people indeed. I hope you don't regret that. The Cal Racing guys with a successful weekend. We're yet to quite figure out how successful, mind you. The order hasn't changed on my screen for a little while, but it looks as though we may have a bulletin from downstairs.
Yeah, if the confirmation right now that the results should stand as they are right now. So we are going to start with the podium ceremony any minute. So we see who's going up on the podium. I'm curious too.
Nothing like a good mystery in Spain. A nice little novel to write here after this one, the great postscript in Valencia. But we will have the trophies being handed out and distributed very soon then. At least that is how it sounds, and we will start off with the overall podium, which should be Alexander Graf third, Roman Iannetta second, and Nicolo Rocca on the top step. And we've heard from all three of those drivers. And certainly they've all been excited, ecstatic with their weekend. And you heard the likes of Alexander Graf definitely being referred to as championship contenders, and justifiably so. Aha, this sounds like a podium incoming. Here we go, the podium is about to get underway then. Let's wait to see if the order's the same as I just told you, but we should see Alexander Graf up third. There he is. Okay, this is a good sign. This means that at least the overall podium has been judged to remain as we have read you. Alexander Graf on the third step. Roman Iannetta with the second place. Once again, I can't do it justice. Nicolo Rocca with the top step of the podium. Here are the trophies.
Don Manuel Aviñó a la entrega del trofeo a Roman Iannetta como segundo clasificado. Y el presidente de la Real Federación Española de Automovilismo la entrega el trofeo al
here's the
vencedor,
trophy for Nicolo Rocca. He holds it aloft, and we will momentarily hear the national anthem for our winning driver.
El himno de Italia. Un aplauso para ellos, para Alexander Graf, para Roman Iannetta y para Nicolo.
So then it's worth noting, these results are still provisional. I did say that the investigations will go on long into the night, and we do anticipate that that's the case. Iannetta's delighted, isn't he? I must say, 16 years on from Michael Schumacher's last win in a Ferrari, I do still expect the Italian anthem to be followed by the German one. And here we go though, Nicolo Rocca with the win and the spray of the champagne. He has had a fabulous weekend here to start off his EuroNASCAR Pro campaign in 2022. And with Alan Day being penalised there at the end, that really does tilt the balance in favour of the likes of Rocca, potentially the likes of Alexander Graf as well. Gianmarco Ercoli will be distraught with the weekend that he's had, ultimately finishing just 6th after the adjusted results. Again, the results are provisional, but for now, you still see the podium ongoing. Nicolo Rocca receiving the red window banner, the windscreen banner that will denote that he is our championship leader coming into race 2, or rather round 2 at Brands Hatch. There you go. The fastest lap winner, TJ Jewelry, giving them a nice piece. As the fastest driver, you do walk away with some bling for your efforts. Young Nicolo Rocca. TJ Titanium Jewelry sponsoring that fastest driver award here in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. And well, there you go. Keep an eye on the red banner when we go to Brands Hatch next month, because that is our championship leader.
Y vamos a llamar al mejor equipo de este fin de semana en la EuroNASCAR Pro. Corresponde a los hombres y mujeres del número 56, Cal Racing.
Okay, so coming up now is the Cal Racing team. And they take their opportunity to come up to the top step in droves. They, of course, have the points leader in their stable. And a great many people taking to the podium then. Big family at Cal Racing, and look at Nicolo Rocca. He's still got some champagne and he intends to use it. Oh, Nicolo, he's a great personality, isn't he? And sure enough, the champagne has been used on him. What comes around, goes around, etc. I don't always quote Justin Timberlake, but when I do. There you go, big team photograph for Cal Racing. Delighted for them. He looks so happy. I'm so happy for Nicolo. He looks like he's had a fabulous weekend. The results agree that he has had a fabulous weekend, and he'll be carrying a lot of smiles and momentum into Brands Hatch, I'm sure of that.
Últimas fotos y vamos a liberar el podio de este equipo ganador y gamberro, el Cal Racing número 56.
Okay, so I think there are some more podiums to come here for the various class orders. I think next up, we should see the Junior Trophy up.
Porque a continuación vamos a ver a los tres primeros clasificados de la Junior Trophy.
Yes, there you go, confirmation that we are going to see the Junior Trophy next, which means Leonardo Colavita will be hopping up onto the podium in just a few moments' time for third place in Junior Trophy.
Tercer clasificado en la Junior Trophy, Leonardo Colavita.
Here he is, the young 16-year-old joining us on the trophy now, on the podium now, I should say, to receive his trophy in the Junior Trophy class. And we heard from this guy earlier, Gustas Grimbergas, second place. Two very strong results in Junior Trophy this year. But the strongest junior of all by some margin, Tobias Downhauer, has had a fabulous weekend in EuroNASCAR Pro, and he'll be looking to build that momentum. Of course, he has a lot of experience in these cars, having been runner-up in EuroNASCAR 2 on 2 occasions. So he'll be bringing some relevant track experience to venues such as Brands Hatch, where the two drivers alongside him on the podium have not.
Las fotos con los tres protagonistas y las autoridades.
Next up, we will see the Challenger Trophy drivers up. Just getting the photos in for the juniors. And off they go. All three drivers looking pretty happy with their performance this weekend. And I say Downhauer in particular should be very happy.
Tercera plaza para Henry Tuomala.
Okay, so now the Challenger Trophy drivers coming up. Henry Tuomala Martin Dubek second. And Max Lanza rounding out the podium there on the top step in the Challenger Trophy class. He looks pretty happy with himself. Ice cool if you're for Henri Tuamala, meanwhile. Dubek looks happy. I'd say the happiest man there, unsurprisingly, is the one on the top step. The $1 million smile for Max Lanza. The 88 car, both in his hands and his teammates, has been very competitive this weekend, I should say, in the EuroNASCAR paddock. And so that's the final podium. The results are still provisional, so I'd suggest you keep an eye on EuroNASCAR's social platforms and their website to find out exactly what may come of this second race here at the Circuit Ricardo Tormo at Valencia. But it's been a fabulous 2 days of action, certainly. We've had great races in both EuroNASCAR Pro and EuroNASCAR 2. The first 2 rounds of each championship have been seen here this weekend at Valencia. Rounds 3 and 4 take place on the 11th and 12th of June at Brands Hatch. The Brands Hatch Indy Circuit, the tight little bull ring, the shortest circuit we visit all year. Make sure you join us on the 11th and 12th of June to catch all of the action from the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. From myself, Adam Weller, from Andre down in the pit lane, and everybody here at Valencia. We'll see you again next month.